Hey guys, I want to discuss why we as a species should be consuming more organs and bone broth than we actually are. See, when people think of animal foods, particularly meat, they think of all they're thinking of is muscle meats. Steak cuts like ribeye, sirloin, whatever. Those are all muscle meats. Pretty much. The most consumed part of the animal nowadays is the muscle meats. And when we observe primitive civilizations and cultures, that's really not what they would go for. That wasn't their first selection. They would normally target the organs, the bone marrow, and they would also make copious amounts of bone broth. And the reason why this is important is because organs are, for one, very nutritionally dense. I eat a 4 ounce serving of grass-fed beef liver every week. I make sure I at least get that in my diet every week. It's that important. It's loaded with things like vitamin B12, a bunch of heme iron. It's also relatively high in copper, which is a essential trace mineral that's important for cholesterol synthesization. If your body's not synthesizing cholesterol, it's not using cholesterol properly, which is bad. Cholesterol is a healing substance in the body. It is used when inflammation occurs in the body. So that's very important. Um, Another thing, muscle meats are particularly high in a amino acid called methionine, and that's one of the problems I have when you see these studies nowadays comparing, vegetarian, vegan-based diets to meat-eating diets. You'll see a study that says 100% plant-based diet uh, drops your chances of early mortality. And they say they're comparing it to meat eaters. Well, the term meat eater in and of itself is a vague term. That can be describing anyone from someone eating a big ass salad with a piece of grass fed steak with that. Or it could also be talking about the man who goes down and orders a Big Mac from McDonald's. I mean, you know, meat eater is very vague. There is no set standard to it like there is for the term plant-based or vegan or whatever, what have you. Um, but another problem I have is most tests done with meat eaters involves people only eating muscle meats, and when you only eat muscle meats, whether it's grass-fed, grain-fed, whatever, you're consuming a large amount of methionine, which can actually raise levels of homeostasis in your blood. Homeostasis is a hormone that is raised, and if it's raised in elevated levels in your blood, it can actually increase your risk of heart attacks, heart disease, strokes, things like that. High blood pressure. Um, and one of the main counters to that is eating organ meats and bone broth, because organ meats and bone broth have glycine in it, which neutralizes this negative effect that methionine causes. Um, it's uh, very important to make sure you limit muscle meats compared to organ meats. You don't want to go crazy on organ meats because you can. They're so nutritious, you can get an overwhelming amount of nutrients like vitamin A. Grass-fed beef liver is very high in preformed vitamin A in the form of retinol, and it can there's been some tests to show if you overconsume it, you could get vitamin A toxicity. But that test was done on people taking vitamin A supplements. The thing that makes me doubt that that could happen with beef liver is the fact beef liver has vitamin D in it as well, which counteracts vitamin A. So not all of that vitamin A will be absorbed. Uh, Vitamin A and vitamin D compete for absorption, so to speak. But I would still only eat a fourth to no more than a half pound of beef liver a week. Um, if not for the vitamin A, for the hema iron. Getting too much iron in your diet, particularly hema iron, can be negative as well. So I mean, just play it smart. I drink a cup of bone broth every day. That's one of the most important sources of glycine, in my opinion. Um, and there you have it. That's what you need to know about muscle meats, organ meats, and bone broths. Organs and bones have been consumed for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. It's long been understood those are the most nutritionally dense parts of an animal, and don't limit yourself to just muscles. Eat those too. It might be sort of disgusting to the newcomer to hear about eating liver or brains or something like that, but uh, you can develop a taste for that stuff, and it's highly nutritious. There's no need to avoid it. Um, and don't be scared of it either. Always be open to try new things. And that's pretty much it for this segment. Eat a wide spectrum of animal foods. Don't limit yourself to just mussels. And I will see you later.